to GCU Reviews.
Getting closer.
What's hot and what's not.
Getting closer.
Bye.
Getting closer.
Hey guys, it's Dee.
And I'm Danielle.
And welcome to GCU Movie Review, baby.
Yes.
Today we're reviewing Straw by Tyler Perry. Netflix came out this year.
Yeah, it's our second Tyler Perry movie. We did 688.
Yes.
So
688.
it's been a lot of buzz about this one. Star-studded cast. Taraji P. Henson is this one. Sherri Shepard, Teyana Taylor. And it's just like a powerhouse cast of women.
Yes. Yeah. Like
Mostly.
Yeah. Strong women. Yeah.
Strong women.
Strong women.
Strong women.
So yeah, this was a doozy.
It was a doozy. I think that's a very fitting word.
That's a word? A doozy. That was a doozy. With me, I don't know, I kind of went in with the emotions already because of the buzz. But so yeah, it started with her just having a bad day.
Yeah. You open up with Taraji P. Henson's character waking up in the morning and just having a bad day. And you don't get the impression that that day was particularly bad, but she's had a series of bad days.
A series of bad days. So it was just, waking up and, her daughter needed money for school. She had to go to work and, just being a single mother.
Not having air conditioning in her apartment.
Oh, yeah, honey, she just was going through everything and work. And then she had to go to school and for her baby's lunch and she needed to cash her check. It was just a lot of things that she needed to do like in a little time. And it's just the last straw.
Yeah, and that is really, see, I didn't go in with as many expectations because outside of knowing who was in it and that it was Tyler Perry movie, I kind of kept myself away from trying to so bad to keep myself away from seeing things, except for seeing how people's reactions to the movie was. So I didn't know 100% what to expect. But Tyler Perry has a way of creating the perfect storm of unfortunate events. Yes. Like there's always something that one or two things somebody can connect with, but he makes all of the worst possible things happen to somebody within the first 10 minutes, which is what he did. Yeah. We find out that Janiyah, who is Taraji P. Henson's character, her daughter is sick. Right. She gets seizures. She is a very ill little girl, and she's very protective over her. And, she's dropping her off at school, the lunch money, because her school won't let her eat unless she has the lunch money. Janiyah is very short on cash, doesn't make very much money, works in a grocery store, and her boss is mean, played by Glen Turman, OG. I mean, people just have a habit of berating this girl because she's so meek and quiet and doesn't want to push boundaries and doesn't want to assert herself whatsoever. So she spends most of the first 10 to 15 minutes, almost a half an hour of the movie, getting stepped on repeatedly. Her landlord, she's late on her rent. She has an eviction notice. Her landlord cusses her out in front of everybody about not having her rent. She's like, today is my payday. I just need my check. I can come on my lunch break. I can pay my daughter's money for school so she doesn't get harassed about lunch.
Just let me get my check.
Yeah,
and that was the whole thing. I just need my money. Maybe things would be better if I just get my money.
If I just get my paycheck.
And I can solve a lot of these problems. But even with her having all of these problems, Sinbad's character, he's homeless in a wheelchair. She still gives him a little change and make sure he eats. And
it was nice to see Sinbad acting in a role. Since he's had his stroke and everything. So that was a really nice surprise to see him. But even though she's rushing out, like Dee said, trying to get to the school, trying to get to work, she's running late. He asked for some change and she gives it to him. Right. She gives him her last. And that sets up the situation and the personality and the character of Janiyah. Yeah. Because a lot of things that happen after that people question her character based on her situation through the rest of the movie.
But then the people that knew her stood on her character of that ain't her.
Her friend is at work?
Yeah, she's not like that. That wouldn't, she would never do that. But people snap. People snap if you keep getting stepped on and pushed aside and nobody to depend on, nobody to help you.
And you're taking on everything yourself because you feel like that's what you have to do. Her friend at work tried to help her and give her some money, and she didn't want to take the money.
Right.
So again, this all sets it up. So the point where she snaps, she gets to work, she's running late, her boss is talking crazy to her, she gets a call from the school, you need to come down here to the school.
Right.
So the daughter, we get there, the daughter is being pulled away by Child Protective Services because she has a bruise on her back. Well, the girl is very sick. She fell in the tub, had a bruise.
Right.
So her child is getting ripped away from her. She needs her medicine. She's sick. They take her child away. She gets to work. Her boss says, well, you're late coming back from going to
because
school.
He only gave her 30 minutes. Be back in 30 minutes. So she comes back because she tries to hurry up and get back. She cuts off a policeman, and he runs her off the road, threatens to kill her. They give her a bunch of tickets. I mean, it's just, they throwing bricks on top of this lady, just time after time. And, you know, it's only so much you can take.
After her car getting towed because she made a mistake, she didn't have her license, didn't have her registration, and her insurance was overdue. She finally gets to work, walked in the rain, soaking wet, and her boss fires her.
Yeah.
And tells her, you can't have your check. Now that you've been fired, I'm gonna mail it to you.
I'm gonna mail it. So then somebody just randomly comes in the office
while she's talking to her boss
and tries to rob the place. She was like, no, I need my check. I don't care what y'all got going on. I need my check, though.
I saw myself in that. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
So I'm gonna take this gun from you because I need this for my baby. You know, and so
I don't know what y'all got going on.
Yeah, she fought
Mr.
this
Robert
man and all this.
I need my check. I just need my check.
I need my check for my baby. So we gonna fight. She fought.
And she fought.
And took the gun. And then she shot him.
Shot the robber.
Then the boss was like, you planned this. You set it up. Shot him.
She ended up shooting him because all she could think was, now you're saying things that's going to keep me away from my daughter and being able to cash my check. Right. Like, she went into a very tunnel vision place.
Because it was all about her daughter.
Everything was about her daughter. So mentioning all of that to say what happens next, she's shot her boss. She grabs her check. She's in tunnel vision.
She don't grab none of the money.
Which is a major trauma response.
None of the money. She just grabs her check. She just wants her check.
None of the money from the safe that's now scattered everywhere. She grabs her check, goes to the bank. And that's where we spend the rest of this movie.
In the bank. Go to the bank. She wants to cash her check. She don't have her ID. But she needs her check. So forgetting that she has this gun from the store, she just puts it on the counter and be like, I don't want none of the money. Just cash my check. Tessa, cash my check. Tessa, you know me, girl. Cash my check. And it was just...
But it scared everybody because she's got this gun. She's a little unhinged at the moment because she just went through something very traumatic. Killed two people accidentally. Well, kind of accidentally on purpose with her boss, but that's another story. And now the people in the bank are all freaked out because there's comes this woman with a gun. She's like, I'm not trying to rob y'all. Can you please stop treating me like I'm hurting y'all or doing something to y'all because I just want my check
I just want my check.
And she's completely separated and unaware, of how this looks. She has her baby's science project in her backpack. The girl was very smart, very, very smart. She's got the science project in her backpack and it looked like a bomb.
So now they think she got a bomb, she a murderer, a bank robber.
The police swarm in, surround it, and when we are introduced to
Teyana Taylor.
Teyana Taylor's character, Detective Raymond, who, what we learn about Detective Raymond, we learn through her interactions with Janiyah. And it's that she does relate to her in some ways.
Yeah,
and as a woman.
I was raised like that, and I'm raising a child. So I'm a single parent too.
Yeah.
So, they kind of connected with that.
And she's been evicted before. She was evicted when she was a child. She remembers her mama going through a similar thing.
Yeah. So they connected. And so she talks to her to get it out. And then when she talks to Sherri's character,
Nicole, who is the bank manager.
Nicole kind of relates, even though, she's not in that situation, but she's a Black woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just ready to help another Black woman.
And came to work at the bank in the city in order to help other people. Right. And actually is the reason why Janiyah has a bank account at that bank.
Yes.
But Nicole, Sherri Shepard's character, is, you know, kind of well-to-do. She's middle class. She's married. She's got 2 kids. She's not of the same walk and experience, but she manages, as scared as she is, to have empathy. And so another thing that Tyler Perry does is he has, and you know, Spike Lee does this too. We talked about it, how each different person in a scene represents a different angle of the Black perspective.
Absolutely.
And so there's all these conversations that's happening in the meanwhile between these characters about different experiences, being poor, being in an underserved community, choosing to do violence versus working hard. Old people, their perspectives of older people, of the new generation, all kinds of these conversations.
I appreciate the older lady that was in there that stayed, that was like, I don't approve what you're doing, however, but I understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand your mentality and where you at. You know what I'm saying? So that, I'm glad that they left an older perspective in there.
They did.
And for her to tell Tessa to shut up.
Yeah, the other bank teller who was like real skittish and scary and scared.
So y'all looking out for her. She got, girl.
She was very triggered by Janiyah because she probably knows people that she's been scared of that remind her of Janiyah.
I mean, you know.
And so she treated her like she was an animal, essentially. Like, you know, I can't understand any of this that you're doing. So you have all these different perspectives happening. It ends up going live, and the community surrounds the bank and tries to support her. I want to ask you, what was a standout moment for you?
Well, I mean, it wasn't really a standout moment. Like I've talked to a lot of people that were real emotional about it. A lot of people cried. The men that I've talked to, I had to turn the movie off. Like they couldn't take it because it was so emotional, and you know, they couldn't understand. But it was just a standout movie for me because I related so well, because I am her, she is me. Like I've been there. I raised a visually impaired daughter. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't keep a corporate job because I had so many doctor's appointments and things like that. So I was her at one point with the police and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't cry because I've cried before. You know, because I related so much to her. I haven't lost a child, but I have close friends that have lost children, and just to watch them deteriorate and snap out. You know, I have one friend who unalived herself because she couldn't live without her child. So, you know, people don't know what you go through when you lose a child. Like, that is the ultimate thing for people. You know, I heard people say I would rather go before my child because I wouldn't be able to live without this. So it just wasn't a standout moment. It was just a standout film.
The feeling
of what, you know, people need when they're bereaving. You know what I'm saying? People try to give you what they got for you, but you have to understand what people need from you.
And that's the thing that I feel like was the standout or the overall thing for me. I connected with a lot of different points in this because of different struggles that I've had and different things that happened when I was growing up. You know, I've been homeless. I've, you know, faced eviction. I've had those different things happen before. But the key thing was at the end realizing, and this is a major spoiler alert, realizing that the reason why she snapped wasn't because of her boss. It wasn't because of her check. She had been living with all of these things for so long. The thing that made her snap for real was her losing her daughter. We find out at the end that she is just on autopilot this whole day. When she dropped her daughter off at school, all of this was pretty much in her head.
Mind.
She was on autopilot. She went to the school, didn't have a baby to drop off, but in her head she did. She didn't have lunch. I mean, there was nobody to pay lunch money for. Like, these people knew that this is what she was going through because they knew her daughter had passed away. But she was so disconnected in that moment. She was having an out-of-body moment and snapped. So that was a major twist at the end that threw me for a loop because I didn't quite see it coming because there wasn't a whole lot of tells in the beginning for it. Overall, it did strike a lot of chords with a lot of people. I feel like it was well done overall.
It absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I like that at the end. I don't think I could have made it through the movie if I knew that the baby died.
That would have been the worst part.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a hot.
I'm gonna give it a hot as well. He did a great job with setting this up. You know, you can have your problems with the different ways that he does things and throws everything at the wall, but it was to make a point, and I feel like that point was made.
It was made, and I loved it. I mean, like I said, it was my life at one point, so.
Everything, like, there's a lot of people that can strike with a lot of things, but yeah, walking that walk is a whole different thing.
Whole different thing. So we're gonna give it a hot. Y'all go check it out. Tell us what y'all think about it, and because it's been a lot of conversation about it.
It's been a lot of conversation about it. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye. And welcome to GCU Reviews.
Getting close up.
What's hot and what's not.